The end of the opera is the very opposite of the opening. For every elusive resolution in the opening exchange between Naboth and the page, the finale exuberantly celebrates Salome's inner world even with its depravity. Prior to this, Salome performs the dance of the seven veils and then stubbornly demands that Herod have Jochanaan's head served to her on a silver platter. Herod vehemently objects. He is fearful, believing that Jochanaan is a real prophet and holy, and that harming him may bring devastating consequences. As is common in this opera, the number 3 is significant, possibly a reference to the Holy Trinity. As one example of the number 3's importance, Herod, to avoid executing Jochanaan, offers Salome 3 gifts, including precious jewels, saying, "All your secret desires I'll grant you, all save one. You may not ask me for the life of this prophet." But with Queen Herodias' enabling encouragement, Salome is relentless, and Herod relents. Toying with the severed head, Salome proclaims, "You looked on the face of God, Jochanaan, but me, you have never seen. If you had looked at me, you'd have fallen in love. I'm thirsting to drink your beauty. I hunger to taste your flesh. No wine nor fruit could banish all my fevered longing. What shall I do now, Jochanaan? All the surging waters cannot quench the fire of my desire and longing. The glorious secret of love is greater than is the secret of death." Observing this, Herod, horrified, shouts, "Veil the stars, veil the moonlight, for some disaster is at hand." It becomes very dark, and flutes and oboes repeat a 3-note figure, a motif of stifling and claustrophobic stasis. This 3-note figure repeats without change, a musical response to Salome's earlier persistent demands for Jochanaan's severed head, while the rest of the orchestra punctuates with a cluster of tones. Salome sings, "Now I have kissed your mouth at last, Jochanaan. There was a bitter lingering taste upon your lips. Could it be blood I taste? No, for perhaps it's the taste of love. They tell me that the taste of love is bitter, but what of that? For I've kissed your mouth at last, Jochanaan." And with the words "taste of love," the music temporarily moves into beautiful F major and D minor 7 harmonies, almost classical in their directness. Soon, the music swells again, moving chromatically up to F sharp major and D sharp minor 7 harmonies, before expanding into a glorious cadence on C sharp major. Salome's desires to possess and kiss Jochanaan are realized here as she sings, "I have kissed your mouth at last." And the music's shift to major, to me, echoes the triumphant shift from minor to major as the 3rd movement transitions to the 4th in Beethoven's 5th Symphony. We hear a variation of Salome's leitmotif and the love leitmotif, which Strauss sets against Jochanaan's prophet motif. The music now symbolizing their union. Jochanaan's earlier rejection of Salome is annulled. Like the opera's opening metaphor for Salome, she is death, and her music swallows his with a reiteration of her C-sharp major key through a remarkably traditional, authentic cadence progressing from prolonged G-sharp dominant 7th to C-sharp major chords. The cadences, or points of resolution, that Strauss had avoided at the opera's start are now repeated and celebrated. In short, a triumph of ecstasy and satiated desires, but not without complication. As we hear the love leitmotif, Strauss includes a bitonal sonority that scholars have described as the most sickening chord in all of opera, an epoch-making dissonance with which Strauss takes Salome to the depths of degradation, and the quintessence of decadence. Here is ecstasy falling in upon itself, crumbling into the abyss. To me, this chord has a few possible meanings, one of which is Jochanaan's martyrdom for the inevitable destruction of the old world. In my view, this story is about the old world on the brink of destruction, and Jochanaan is one of the sacrifices that brings about the new paradigm. Musically, however, what is this chord? It's a juxtaposition of harmonies that wouldn't operate in common practice grammar, but are here in line with what Strauss introduces from the opera's opening. Traditionally, conflicting sonorities are put together so that incongruity becomes commonplace. This mirrors the narrative. What's more incongruous to our moral and instinctive principles than Salome's necrophilia or Herod's lust for his stepdaughter? This chord, in microcosm, defines the strangeness of the final scene. From the moment Salome possesses Jochanaan's severed head, her music is some of the most beautiful and romantic in the entire opera. With this, Strauss shows us that from Salome's perspective, her desires are as pure as Naboth's initial appraisal of her beauty. From the outside perspective, however, the Queen's page had warned us all along. This is a perverted and false love, and like the entire world of this opera, must be destroyed. Herod's orders to his guards, "Kill that woman," are the only escape from this hell.